Hi, Austin Youth Fitness community. This is Coach Allie here to introduce Austin Youth Fitness at Home Running Week 2. My kids are joining me again to offer you this instructional video, and I'll introduce them to you again real quick in case you need a reminder. This is Coach Ellie.
Hi.
Coach Liam. We got Coach Laney behind the camera. She's our videographer today, at least to start. This is Coach Sally. And Coach Lucy's joining us too. She'll be out in a moment.
And Coach Harley.
And Coach Harley. So this week, our emphasis is on strength. We will continue to review and emphasize pacing every week, but in addition to pacing this week, we're gonna focus on strength. In your email, in the email that was sent home with your lesson plans for this week, we included this handout. And these are the strength exercises we'll be reviewing with you today, and the strength exercises we'd like for your kiddos to start working on this week and throughout our 6-week program. So we'll be demonstrating these exercises going through our lesson for today. And again, the emphasis is on strength with a continued emphasis on pacing. Oh, there's Coach Lucy. Did I introduce Coach Lucy when she walked out?
Oh.
Coach Lucy. So now the gang's all here. We can get started. We are in our garage and in our driveway. We have a beautiful park right outside our front door practically, and we like to enjoy exercise and activity over at that park as much as we can. But it being a rainy, kind of chilly day, we're going to demonstrate today's lesson in our garage and in our driveway. And actually that's probably maybe a little more applicable for you all at home. You may not have access to a park, or in today's lesson we encourage you to try a centipede drill, and typically that's done on a track. So obviously a lot of us can't get out of our homes. So these exercises, activities, and drills that we demonstrate today can be done right at home in your own backyard, front yard, or driveway. To get started, we're gonna do our Austin Youth Fitness warm-up. We always start out with a light run, a bear-paced run to warm up, and then we move into our drills. To start with our bear run, let's do it in place. We did this one day last week when we had a rainy day live Facebook video workout. So let's get started with our bear-paced jog. Remember, always focus on body alignment and form, and it's a good idea to lock in good body alignment before you even begin to move, before you begin to run. So let's do that. Draw your abs in, your abdominal muscles. Draw those muscles in. Draw your shoulders back by working your back muscles, and then draw your shoulders down. That should create some space between your ears and your shoulders and make your spine long. So with that long spine, that strong back and strong tummy, let's begin. Bounce, just like you're jumping rope, and then move to a light run. Your light run, as you remember, is your bear pace run. And in a light run, your heart rate comes up to what we call a steady state. Your breathing rate comes up, but it also is steady, and it should feel comfortable. You should be able to talk to each other, encourage each other when you're running at a bear pace. Come back to your bounce now. We're gonna do a few more stationary exercises, stationary bear-paced exercises. Hands on hips to make sure your body's staying in alignment, to make sure your abs are tight. And move to a jumping jack now. Out and in. Jumping jack, feet side and center. Keep a little bend in your knees. Maybe exaggerate the bend in your knees as you land wide. Now we're gonna do 3 rounds of 10 each. Back to your bear run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jumping jack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Run it out, light run. This is set number 2 of 3. Just getting our bodies warm. 7, 8, 9, jumping jack. 1, 2. Good. Heart rate coming up a little bit, but still steady. Back to your light bear run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice smile, Liam. Smiling is so important to good form. Jumping jack, last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, we're gonna move into our drills. We have a sloping driveway. Our driveway is a pretty steep slope, actually. So we're gonna do our drills up the driveway. We share our driveway with our community here. We have a nice little private drive that we share with all these other houses around us. And it's a nice quiet spot. If you have a quiet street, you might be able to do your drills on your street or on your driveway. Ideally, if you have a sidewalk, that would be preferable. Or again, you can do these in your yard. Just find an open space. And the first drill we're gonna do, and let's just drill up to the top of this line of cones. The first drill we're gonna do is our high pull or high knee. Lift the knees and think about taking short, quick steps rather than long, big steps. The knees come up high, but the steps are rather short in a high knee. Walk it down the hill. If you're like us and live on a hill and you're doing your drills on a hill, it's a good idea to walk back down to your starting point. Drill uphill and walk downhill. And that's just a little less stressful on your body. Parents, especially if you're doing these exercises and activities with your kids, the downhill movement, the downhill running or drilling is pretty stressful to joints. So just take it easy on the downhill with a walk. Let's do that high pull drill one more time. High pull to the top of the cones, quick, fast, high pulls, high knees, chest is proud, gaze is up, belly strong, and walk it back down. Catch your breath. You'll notice in our drills that the heart rate comes up past your bear pace heart rate to a horse or maybe even a cheetah heart rate. We're not sprinting in our drills, but some of the drills give us the same feeling that a sprint would. It gives us that cheetah kind of feeling in our breath and in our heart rate. All right, heels to seat, seat kicker. Same idea, feet to the seat, bringing your feet up with a very short step. You're not taking big long steps on this one. Short, quick, fast steps, bringing your foot up and back. Walk it down the hill. Catch your breath. All right, seat kickers one more time. Feet to seat, quick, fast, high pulling, high kicking, keeping your body aligned, your tummy muscles.
Harley.
All right, you guys, we're gonna move from our high pull and seat kicker drills to our skipping drill. Skipping is up next, all the way back to this cone. When we skip, we start with a low skip. We'll do it a couple of times, up and back low, and then we'll go with a high skip. Lead with your heel on this one and work through your entire foot. Working through your entire foot. By that I mean, get the heel out in front and then push off to spring off the toes. Walk it back. Walk back, coaches. So in a skipping drill, your focus is on working on range of motion and flexibility and strength in the feet, ankles, and calves. So it's real important that you get that complete range of motion from the heel through the arch and the ball of the foot. Lead with the heel, low skip one more time. Lead with the heel, work through the foot. And walk it back. off the ball, but now you add a big push and you get some air under your feet, lifting the knee with that skip. Push and get up into the air. Get a lot of air with each step, each skip. Walk it back. Catch your breath. Those high skips are like a cheetah run. They get your heart rate really high.
Harley, come.
Hanging, Lucy.
Good boy.
I literally would like this is exactly like
High skips. Last set of high skips. Here we go. Up, up. Push and get some air under your feet. Lift your body.
no.
Easy walk back, catching your breath. We call our walking pace, don't forget, turtle. And as I said in video 1, turtle walking is important to good running. That's why we include it in your pacing animal cues. Turtle, bear, horse, and cheetah. Now we're going to get into our lateral drills. So turn sideways and face Lainey. Start with a little bend in the knees, keep your belly tight, and let's just do a shuffle to begin. We do a shuffle and a grapevine for our lateral drills, but we always do a shuffle first. It's just a good way to ease in to that lateral movement before you do the more complicated grapevine, coordinated movement. Face the other direction. You're back to Lainey. And shuffle up the hill. Little bend in the knees, quick and light feet, quick, fast feet. Walk it back. Now we can move into our grapevine, our over and under exercise. And your over and under exercise. Make sure, and if you're learning this one, just remember that you step over, and then the lead leg steps out. The following leg steps under, and then the lead leg steps out. Following leg over, lead out. And then you just pick up your pace. I like to lift my arms on this one and work my waist. Start to warm up your waist and core muscles and hips a little more with a twisting action as you grapevine or over and under. All right, last one, facing the other direction. Harley's doing his cheetah run. All right, here we go. Over and under. Add the twist, add the arms and the rotation, moving your ribs and shoulders as well as your feet and legs. So you get some good upper body warming up too. All right. We're introducing one more drill this week. We introduced those drills last week, you probably remember. This week we're adding another fundamental drill that is always good to include in your warm-up, and it's a backwards run. Backwards run. And the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna have you two work together. And you two work together, and you're gonna spot each other. By that, I mean, like if I'm working with Liam, you're gonna run backwards, I'm gonna run forwards, and I'm gonna spot you in case you were coming up on a hole or a rock or a scary. And then we're gonna walk it back down. Yeah. And switch. So you two work together. Sally and Ellie work together, and each of you do it 2 times, or 4 sets total. All right, backward run.
I was not gonna hit anything. I know.
A backward run is really good for core strength and balance. And Liam a minute ago mentioned that he noticed in the seat kicker drill, he had one side that had more range of motion than the other. Backwards running is a great way to point out or become aware of any inconsistencies from one side to the other. They become very obvious when you turn around and run backwards. For example, if I favor one side or maybe have a difference in foot strike or leg swing, when I turn around and go backwards, that's exaggerated. And you'll notice. You might not notice it in your forward running, but when you turn around and run backwards, you'll really see different imbalances in your body, and that awareness will allow you then to focus and work on improving those imbalances. All right.
I need to do one more.
You want to do one more?
Well, did you say 2 times each?
Yes, 2 times each. Are y'all feeling warmer, looser? When we came outside to shoot this video, everybody was talking about being chilly and cold, and doesn't take long to warm up your body. Speaking of which, in our Austin Youth Fitness programs, and when we work with your kids in our groups, we spend at least 5 and usually closer to 10 minutes or more just warming up, just doing our bear pace laps or stationary bear pace work, followed by drills. We take a lot of time to warm our bodies because it is so important to good running. Do take as much time as you need, parents, and as much time as your kids need to really, really warm up. We're modeling and demoing these drills in a group with your kids. If I were actually coaching an hour-long group, I'd probably spend at least another 5 minutes doing drills and warming activities. So repeat these for another 1, 2, 3, 4 sets to make sure you're not only learning the skills of drills, but also getting your body really warm for the main set or the main part of our workout. All right, our main set today is a timed run. It's a run and an activity that reinforces the pacing that we introduced on week 1. So in this timed run, the way it's described in your lesson plan is as an out and back, where you're gonna run 2 minutes out at a bear pace and then run back to the start. And you should get back to your start at exactly 2 minutes if you're holding a steady bear speed. Now, if you don't have the space to run a full 2 minutes out in one direction and then come back, you can do what we're gonna show, which is a driveway run, or it could be a backyard run. Any space that you have where you can run a distance, turn around, run back, and just count the number of times that you repeat that distance in 2 minutes. Take a little break and then do it again. Your number should be the same if your bear pace or your pacing is the same between the 2 sets. So we're gonna do 2 2-minute sets of what I'm calling a driveway run. My kids are gonna count the number of repeats they do, and then they should be able to do the same number the second go round if their bear speed is steady. I'm gonna set my timer for 2 minutes. They're gonna count their driveway repeats, and we count halves and quarters. That counts too. You guys ready? This is your bear speed. Remember, it's not a race or a sprint. Also remember that your bear speed may not be the same as your brothers or sisters or moms or dads. In fact, it probably won't be the same. So you're not running to try and keep up with your mom or dad. You're running at what feels like a bear pace to you. Go by feel. All right, here we go. Ready, go. Bear run is a slow, steady, light to moderate pace run. Slow, steady, moderate pace, one that you can maintain for a long period of time. Remember, bear is what we use in our warm-up, and it's a speed that feels comfortable, a speed where you can talk, might even laugh, enjoy conversation with your family. Remember, if you, like us, are running on a hill, when you come down the hill, go real easy on the knees. That means keep a slight bend in the knees and be real light in your landing. Try and land with a light foot strike, especially on the downhill. We want to protect those knees. We're about halfway through our 2-minute run, our 2-minute driveway run. Y'all are a little over halfway. It should feel real steady, real comfortable, nice and light. This should feel like a pace that you can maintain for a long time. Slow and steady, smooth and easy. You are at 1.5 minutes. You got 30 more seconds. Easy, steady, smooth pace. 5 more seconds. How many did you get, Liam?
I got 3.
Liam got 3. That's 2 minutes. We're all at about,
That was this quarter.
okay, so 2 3/4, right? So the next time we do this, we're going to do it again in just about a minute. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds to just come all the way back down to a resting heart rate and resting breathing rate. And then we're going to do it again. And you should get, again, the same number. All of you are at about 3 driveway lengths out and back in that 2-minute period. So when you do this with your family, the second set or the second 2-minute time trial, you should get the same number of out and back repeats if you're doing a repeat. And here we go again. Off you go. 2 minutes, slow and steady, bear pace run. So after this bear pace 2-minute time trial, we'll do a horse pace 2-minute time trial. And remember, your horse speed is just over bear pace, where your breathing is noticeably heavier, your heart is pounding faster, but you're still able to talk. You should still be able to talk to your family, and you should still feel like your pace is steady. It's only when you get to cheetah that you move from that steady breathing and steady heart rate to a real fast, irregular heart rate and a shallow, fast gasping breathing pattern. So when we move from when we move from bear to horse, it's gonna feel harder, but still relatively moderate as compared to cheetah. 30 more seconds, y'all. 30 seconds. Should be close to finishing your 3 trips up and down the driveway if you've maintained a steady pace. And 15 more seconds. That's 2 minutes. Good job, you guys. Y'all looked like you were in exactly the same spot. All right. As you guys were doing that 2-minute driveway run, I was telling our families that are tuning in that the second part of this activity is a horse pace 2-minute time trial. Now, remember that horse is not your fastest. Cheetah is your fastest. Horse is just a notch over bear. It does feel harder, but it should still feel steady. You should still be able to hold your pace throughout the first 2 minutes and then match that pace the second 2 minutes. When you're taking your breaks in between your 2-minute runs, it's important to make a conscious effort to slow your breathing down. Pull that breath from the chest back down into the belly. And it's also important to take a moment during your break to reset your body. And by reset your body, I mean pull those tummy muscles back in. Pull your shoulders back and wear that proud chest. Draw your arms down at your sides so the shoulders are relaxed. So reset your body in between your 2-minute timed runs. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
This is horse pace. So if you got 3 in for bear pace, you'll get at least, I'd say 3.5, 4 maybe at a horse speed. Go. Horse is pretty fast, but not a cheetah. It's faster than a bear. It feels a little harder than a bear, but it should still feel even, steady, smooth. Unless you're running with Harley, and then it feels like a stop and start cheetah. You're at 1 minute. I'm watching my girls and boy. I'm watching their form as they're running, and one thing I noticed is they're up on the balls of their feet, up close to the toes, and that is typically how you run at all speeds. You land on more of the forefoot or midfoot, and then the heel does touch the ground, but just lightly. When you're running uphill, which they are right now, that is exaggerated. And it's nothing you have to think about, but it's just an observation that I noticed. They're a little further forward on their foot, way up on the ball of the foot and on the toes as they're going uphill. So their calves might be a little sore tomorrow after these hill repeats. And that's 2 minutes. Good job. Did you gain some distance?
Yes.
Yeah?
I got 4.
Liam got 4. Y'all got over 3.5?
3.
3 3/4. Awesome. We're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna give them about a minute to catch their breath, reset their body, and then we'll do it one more time. And again, ideally, you want to learn how to control your pace at any speed, at bear speed, horse speed, or cheetah speed. Now, obviously at cheetah speed, when you're running an all-out sprint, you know, there's not a lot of pacing there. You're just going as hard as you can. But at horse and bear, you want to learn how to control that and keep it steady. And that's what this drill does. All right. Big breath in.
Oh, sorry, down here.
Ready, go. So I was saying that when you run, you land with a forefoot or midfoot strike and your heel taps down, does touch the ground ideally, unless you're running up a steep hill. When you're running uphill, sometimes that heel doesn't touch all the way down and you're further forward on your foot. 1 more minute. 1 more minute, you got it. Keep your chest up as you run up the hill. Keep your foot strike light, quick and light. Remember to avoid looking down. You don't need to look down at your feet. Look up, especially if you're going up a hill. Look the direction you're running. 30 more seconds. 30 seconds. 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Did you hold your pace? Did you get the same number? Yeah? All right. So the last running activity we're going to do in today's workout, in today's lesson, this is week 2. The last thing we're going to do is a variation of our centipede drill. So we just did a lot of bear pace running. We just did a lot of horse pace running. Now we're going to do a little cheetah pace running. And we're going to do it with the centipede drill. Typically you do a centipede drill where you have a big open space or a track to move as a team in a line, and the last person in your line races to the front and takes the lead, and as the leader resumes a bear pace or a slow pace. So it's an activity where you do short sprints but maintain a steady pace with your group when you're in the line. And this centipede drill, y'all can come up here. We're going to do it just in a short space. It's kind of like a stationary centipede drill. So if you have limited space, you can't get to a track or you can't get to a park with a big open field, you can do it in just a small space like we have here. We're all going to stand beside a cone. Now, the person at the front of the line is going to do the sprinting. Generally, it's the person in the back that runs to the front. But this time, the person in front, you guys jog in place. Jog in place. I'm going to sprint to the back. Y'all are going to jog to the next cone. And then when I get here, I'll say sprint, Liam. And we jog to the next cone. Sprint, lady. Jog to the next cone. So you see how this works? When you're in the line moving from cone to cone, you're working at a light jog bear pace. But when you get to the front cone, you sprint back cheetah pace to the furthest cone. You can continue doing this drill for as long as you want because you're not sprinting the whole time. You couldn't run a cheetah pace for very long, right? But you're getting a little recovery as you come down the line of cones. So you're sprinting hard and then catching your breath as you make your way back to the first cone. Do y'all think we can go up to 10?
Oh, yeah.
10 total sprints?
Sure.
All right, that's gonna be our goal. Our family goal is to continue this centipede drill to the point until every family member has done 10 sprints, 10 cheetah runs. You on number 4, lady?
This is the front kid.
Oh, good. 5. This is such a great drill for building speed and understanding pacing, understanding how you can run at a cheetah speed and then recover with a bear pace. It's also a really good endurance builder because you are building speed, but you're continuing to just move the whole time. You don't stop. You don't stop at the end of that sprint. You keep going, so that builds a lot of endurance and stamina. It's a really excellent drill for runners. Nice job, y'all. Let's come into the garage. While they go get their water, I'm going to explain our strengthening exercises and how we're going to do that. In our email we sent you today, as I said, we included this printable worksheet that has our strengthening exercises on it. And in your lesson plan, we encouraged you to try to repeat these exercises 3 times in kind of a circuit and do each exercise 10 to 15 reps. So that's what the kids and I will model for you today. 10 to 15 reps of each exercise, and then repeat each exercise 3 times, and you can do it in a circuit, which is a good format, a nice way to organize it. All right, so our strength circuit today includes the exercises on your at-home worksheet, and we're just gonna go through them and demonstrate them. It's suggested on your worksheet that you do 10 to 15 repetitions of each exercise. There are a couple of exercises, or one at least, that's a static or isometric exercise. So for that one, we're gonna suggest that you just hold for at least 15 seconds. All right, and that's the wall sit. So the wall sit is our first exercise. Let's show them what that looks like. You're gonna find a spot against a wall. Everybody got a spot? And then you're gonna go down into a squat position where your knee and your hip are about level. So if you look at Lainey here, knee and hip level or thigh parallel to the ground. It's pretty intense. You just hold that wall sit for 15 counts, 15 slow counts or 15 seconds, taking some deep breaths as you hold. This builds strength in the legs. It also builds strength in your belly. Is that about 15?
Yeah.
Come up out of that wall sit. I'm going to show you a fun variation that I like, and you know, since you're going to do this 3 times, you're going to do 3 rounds of your circuit. You might try a variation the next time you do this in set 2 or 3. Knees and hips level. Thighs parallel to the ground, and then I'm going to add a calf raise. Up and down, up and down, and maybe I count 15 of that calf raise, and that's my 15 seconds in the wall sit. And man, not only does that work my calves, it makes my thighs and hips and glutes work a lot harder too. So it's a way to make this exercise more challenging if you want to. All right, the next exercise on our worksheet is a simple squat. And we showed you some squats in our workouts last week on Facebook live every day. So you'll see more of those in our live videos. But to illustrate, and if you have dumbbells at home or something heavy you want to hold, if your legs are already pretty strong, you can add a weight. And you're just going to hold the weight at your chest. You stand with your feet just wider than hip width distance, just slightly wider than hip width distance. You lift your chest, pull the belly in, and then you drop down. Hips go back. You might tap your elbows to your knees, making sure your weight is back in your hips rather than your knees, and then you just stand right back up. Let's do that 15 times. Down and up. Breathe as you squat. Breathe in to take it down, out to take it up. You can go slow, you can go fast, but go at a pace that feels challenging and move with good form. Sometimes if you get going too fast, your form gets sloppy. So maintain a proud chest, strong abs, and good form. Next we have lunges. And once again, if you want to hold weights, dumbbells in your hands to do your lunges, that'll just be some additional weight for your legs to have to lift and work against. We're going to do what's called a reverse stepping lunge. We're going to show you that first, and then I'll show you a variation if, again, you want to do something different in each round. So in a reverse stepping lunge, you step back, just a stagger step, not a big long step, but kind of a stagger step back, knee under hip, maybe hands on hips if you don't have dumbbells, and then bend the knee, lowering the knee to the ground, and step it right back together. Step back other foot, lower that back knee to the ground, and step together. Once again, you can go fast or slow, but find a speed where you can maintain good form and breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Now on this one, we want to do 16, 8 on each leg. Next up, push-ups. We demonstrated push-ups last week. We're going to show you again. Y'all can grab a mat if you want a mat for your hands. Remember, in push-ups, in everything you do, form is critical to building good strength and being safe with your body. In a push-up, you can do what we call a full push-up, a full body push-up, or a supported push-up. So, with a push-up, we encourage you to do what's called a supported push-up if you can't do a full body push-up with good form. So I'll have some of I'll have y'all show an example of either one or both. In a supported push-up, your knees are on the mat or the ground. In a full body push-up, you're at the top of a plank. It's like high plank. Shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, and ankles are in a straight line. If your knees are on the ground, thank you, Lainey, you still have shoulders, ribs, hips in a straight line. All right, let's do 10 to 15 push-ups. Good form. Lower your body as a unit, one solid unit, a long line from your head through your back, hips, legs, feet. And again, did you notice how Lainey dropped to her knees there? When you need to drop to your knees, do so. Take a little break, come up off your hands, stretch your chest if you need to. A good chest stretch is just bringing your hands back behind your body, interlacing your fingers, and then pointing down, hugging the back of your body with your shoulder blades. Another nice chest stretch is this one where you take hands behind the head, press your elbows back and look up. Big stretch for the chest and shoulders. All right, come back into that push-up position, which is plank pose, and we're going to show them next mountain climbers. A mountain climber is where you hold plank, but you pull your knee up and under the body and then step it right back. Pull the other knee up and up. It's like running in plank. And then once you get good, your body positioned and your form is good, then you can pick up your pace. Run it out. And again, just do about 15 each leg. Let's do 15 each leg in a mountain climber, or 30 total. Now, I'm kind of following the exercises on this worksheet, but I noticed that, you know, the first 3 that we did are all lower body exercises. These 3 are all upper body and core exercises. When you're putting your circuit together, your exercise circuit together at home, you might want to alternate lower body and upper body, lower body and upper body, lower body and upper body. So you're not doing all 3 strengthening exercises for your legs together and all 3 strengthening exercises for your upper body together. You break it up a little bit, because these back to back, especially for the upper body, are hard. If you were to do push-ups, mountain climbers, and plank, which is next, straight, all 3 together, that would be pretty fatiguing. So, and I'm giving y'all time in between But if you were to do these in a quick circuit, that would be challenging. So back to plank pose. Now, the illustration here shows a one-arm reach in plank, which makes it super hard. You might just hold plank for about 15 counts, or you could try a reach and bring it back. A reach and bring it back. If you're doing that reach, let's try 16 total, or 8 reaches each arm. Oh, Lainey's doing low plank reach. And you know what? I didn't realize it until I saw Lainey doing it. That is what's shown on our worksheet. So maybe try both. See how it feels. Low plank on your forearms with that reach, or up in high plank on your hands with a reach. Either way, you're going to be challenging your core muscles. Good. So when you're all done with your set, I'm going to use Lainey as an example. I didn't talk about what your forearms should look like if you are on your forearms. I mentioned in a push-up, your shoulders are over your wrist. Well, if you're in low plank, your shoulders are over your elbows, just like so. Just make sure there's this stacked alignment and that the neck is long. Crunches are on our worksheet. It's just a simple old school abdominal crunch. So on your back, your hands are interlaced behind your head, simply to support your head, to cradle your head, not to pull. You want to keep some space between your chin and your chest, about a fist between your chin and your chest. So keep the neck long, rest the head back into the hands, light support for the neck, and then use your belly muscles to lift your chest, shoulders, head, and neck. Yeah, and lower back down. Belly muscles work to lift, not your arms or shoulders. 15. Stay on your back, and let me just give them one more variation on our crunch, just like I gave you some variations for the wall sit and the lunge. A variation you can do on a crunch is called a twisting crunch, and it's the exact same action, but you're going to twist as you curl up. So you lift your chest, shoulders, pull the belly in to lift, and then twist and look to one side. The elbow kind of comes across towards that opposite leg, and back down. Curl up from the belly, lift the ribs, and then twist. A final variation would be to bring the leg up and back down, leg up and back down. And we saved the best for last. Burpees. We demonstrated some burpees last week, and they are hard. That's a really challenging exercise. A burpee is a combination, actually, of exercises. It's a combination of a squat, a plank, a push-up, and then another squat. That's a burpee. And typically, as you come up out of your burpee, you jump up. So it combines many different exercises. It's an aerobic exercise and a strength builder. It does both. I'm breathing hard after just modeling one burpee. There's a variation on a burpee called a sprawl where you don't include the push-up. And so Lainey, model that. So squat, sprawl. Oh, she did a full-on burpee.
Well,
Yeah.
a sprawl usually is just, I feel like,
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking more instead of like having to come here and then doing that.
Oh,
That is
yes.
like laying
So
down.
I broke it up into different pieces. So Lainey, do the burpee again. Lainey just sort of smoothed out the corners and dropped right into that push up or just kind of hit the ground rather than sprawling out first. Yes, but that was a beautiful burpee. That was
Or you
perfect.
could do a sprawl.
A sprawl is just jumping out into plank without hitting the ground with your chest or lowering down to the ground. So if you're just building up and you don't have a lot of push-up strength, a lot of chest and shoulder strength yet, you're just building that strength, then I would stick with just the sprawl to make sure your form's good. And then in the next few weeks, you'll notice as you get stronger that you can do the push-up variation of the burpee. All right, so that is week 2 of At Home Austin Youth Fitness Running. Don't forget to stretch. The stretches that are on your week 1 worksheet are very important. Always include those: hamstrings, quads, calves. There was something else.
The other was hips.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
thank you,
hips.
hips. Figure 4 hips. So don't forget your stretching. We'll continue to introduce some more stretches too in our live workouts on Facebook. Please join us every day at 3:30 for our Facebook Live workouts. Let's bring it in for our fun finish chant. All right, well, thank you for joining us for week 2 of At Home Austin Youth Fitness Running. We always finish our groups with a fun finish chant. And this week, we're going to introduce you to another Austin Youth Fitness tradition called the Athlete of the Day Award. In our groups, we award a student athlete, the Athlete of the Day, and we recognize students that have worked hard, stayed positive, pushed themselves, been a good friend, a good sport or teammate, and been helpful to coaches. So any and all of these things are important in our recognition of a child for Athlete of the Day. We'd like to encourage you to have Athlete of the Day be part of your Austin Youth Fitness at Home programming. Tell each other what you appreciated about their attitude or effort during the workout, and recognize an Athlete of the Day. So who is our Athlete of the Day today?
I wonder who.
Who should we recognize?
I think Harley was a good athlete.
Oh,
Harley!
Harley! Harley is our Athlete of the Day today because he ran his hardest. He had a positive attitude.
He encouraged me to sprint.
He was encouraging Ellie to sprint by biting her calves and ankles.
Good boy, Harley.
Yay! So, congratulations, Harley, on your Athlete of the Day award. Harley, let's bring it in for our fun finish chant.
Come here, Harley.
Fun finish chant. Here we go.
Austin Youth Fitness, yeah. Austin Youth Fitness, yeah. Austin Youth Fitness, yeah. Fitness is fun.
All right, thanks for
With
joining
Harley.
us. We will see you on Facebook Live.